Hello, hello. I am super excited again this month to be chatting with another entrepreneur. I am going to be chatting for our August feature with Jana Hicks, and she is the CEO of Organized Solutions and Events. She is an author of Where There's Order, There's a Flow of Peace. So I can't wait to talk to her about that. She, in 2021, formed Jana Hicks Publishing. She is also an encouragement teacher, and she can be found, and she'll tell you more about it later in detail, I'm sure, through HP MagCloud. I think I got that right, and Amazon. So yes, Jana, tell the world a little bit about yourself, please, and your business.
Well, like you said, Organized Solutions and Events is my business, and it's several things under the umbrella of that. I'm an author. You can find me on Amazon.com and MagCloud.com. Also, like you said, I birthed out Jana Hicks Publishing. Not just publishing my own publications now, I'm publishing other authors.
Awesome.
And basically, I teach you how to live total life order. Because order is not just your environment, it begins how you think, and how you think starts coming out and how you live.
Yes, that inside out. So what's going on in our mind or in our spirit or heart can just kind of come out, and then we look around and we're like, why is everything a mess in my finances, at my desk, in my relationships? Yes, I love it. Yes. So also, you said that you are publishing for other authors as well now, because I think that was something, I know when I was growing up, being an author seems impossible. But now people are helping others self-publish, which is getting people's voices out that would have not otherwise been heard. So where do you get your inspiration for all of these things from?
Honestly, my inspiration comes from God. He is the first one I go to about everything, because he's the one who wired me the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
So all the giftings that come out of me is him in his season at his time.
Wow. So does that mean, you said in his season and his time, so does that mean that sometimes you have an idea and it can take a couple years before it ever comes out?
Yes, exactly. Learning not to get ahead of God. Because even with the publishing company, it's not a traditional publishing company. He shows me who is going to be the person. And then I'll go to them and have the conversation, and we take it from there.
Wow. I feel like this is a really different point of view, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're like, oh, I've got the next product, I got the next service, and it's going to be great. And we sometimes push it too fast.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
I'm not that one. I used to be more lead foot and lead feet, but now I got a flow going. So I'm very prayerful about everything. So anything you see birthed out of me, anything you see me do, trust me, the first thing that I did was pray about it. And I'm not one that's scared or nervous to take the step. So that's why I need to pray to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do at the time I'm supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, because a lot of times people are afraid to start, and so they stop. They're like, I don't know, but you know. But yet sometimes we can be too confident, right?
Yes, and that's the thing with me. It's not that I'm too confident. It's just that I'm not fearful to step out. When God shows me something, a friend of mine said that to me. He said, that's what I love about you. He said, you step out when God says step out. He said, well, I'm afraid you can give me the kick in the pants and I'll start. He's like, but because the way I am, I could pull you back sometimes. And sometimes you need that. Like, no, not now. It's coming. I'm just developing the idea in you.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing with the publishing.
Oh, okay. No, say more about that. I was going to ask something, but say more about the publishing. Yeah.
the idea with the publishing, I had published my book, Articles for Life, on Amazon. And as you know, publishing that and putting it out there, another idea came. It was a young lady. I seen her posting stuff for moms on her Facebook story page. And I kept saying, do she know that could be a book? And it started hitting me. So I asked her, I said, have you ever thought to put your mommy quotes in a book? And so she said, yes. So my idea was to help her do a book, not publish a book at the time. I had another publisher to give her to. But then she was like, no, that don't work for me. And God kept tapping me like, you can publish her because you did it already. You did you.
Yeah.
And so that's why she came out with her book. She was the one who stretched me. And that's how Jana Hicks Publishing got birthed through her. And her name is Jossie Singletary, and her book is called Mommy Chronicles.
Oh, for all the mothers out there.
Yes.
Yes, that might be a hint to check that out. But I think a lot of times that's what our learning process, even as entrepreneurs, is we learn something and then we help other people who are just starting to learn how to do it. Yeah.
Sure.
To do that give back. You know, someone helped us.
Yes.
We have to help others. Yeah. We didn't just wake up one morning. I mean, even God gives us like mentors and like different guidance and steps to take.
Right.
So and I was thinking, you mentioned earlier a friend who might be like a little more hesitant and like you're pushing. So it's like the opposite sometimes. We need those people who are kind of opposite on our team to balance us. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah, and I do have that. I have several people that keep me balanced, and that works for me because being that when you're an encourager by nature, you're a pourer. You always pouring out into other people. So you need other people to come to help pour back into you. But I'm typically one who will pour back into myself, but then sometimes you need people to undergird you and to pour into you. And that works for me. And that helps me do what I do.
Yes, actually, that is something that I wanted to chat with you about. So you said you have other people who pour into you, but you also said you pour back into yourself. That sounds like self-care.
Oh, definitely.
So, I know that you are an author of several different publications. It seems like, because we're just getting familiar with one another, where there's order, there's a flow of peace. It sounds like that is maybe one of your most powerful, not that the others aren't powerful.
No, you're right. You're very true. That's very true. You're very right. That is really my motto and how I live, because I'm so wired for order. Even in my home, no matter what I do, order is the call of the day, because it makes everything easy and it has a process and it brings peace because it's flowing. It's nothing chaotic.
Yeah.
And then when chaos tries to invade the order, you have to know how to push it back and bring it back into that space and bring it back to balance.
Yeah. So how do you set up order in your life so that you can, in all of the things you're doing as an entrepreneur, how do you still get that lifestyle of rest as well as that lifestyle of productivity?
Honestly, I got better at resting. Even now, it really is something that I started doing now, because I kept saying, you know what, as you get a certain age and stuff, and as women, you got to be practical with how you do things, because we are hormonal. And the one thing I learned, when you're in a place of peace, your hormones are in order and they're flowing properly. So my thing is, if I'm resting, I'm able to take care of me first and do what I need for me first. Because if I don't take care of me, I'm not going to be able to help another person. So now what I do in between everything I do, I make sure I have that rest time. Because what I do, I turn the TV off I get quiet in my space. I may turn on classical music. I may turn on Christian music, may turn on instrumental music. It depends on where I am at that point in the day.
So basically, it sounds like you're ordering your day with mini breaks in between.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, yes. I am working on that. I have set up some things, some systems.
Right.
Yeah, like setting an alarm to remind myself to take a break.
Yeah, and you have to do that. If you don't, you can burn out very easily.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it before. It's interesting. I was just having a conversation with someone last evening, very similar. So I think that this is important because it's repeating. And you were talking about your hormones. So a lot of times it's not something that we talk about as women. We just talk about like rest and getting your rest and your immunity or whatever, but like our actual hormones. That's so interesting.
Oh yeah, because it's an intricate, everything is connected.
Yeah.
Everything is so connected. And like you were saying with your immunity and stuff, even with all of that, because I make sure I take care of my body with my gut area, making sure my next book coming out, actually, you'll hear more of my story and how God taught me about my brain, how everything works and how the system works. And that helps me take care of myself.
Yeah. Yeah, because our hormones do bring order, right? Like I was diagnosed with an overactive thyroid when I was 19. So my body was out of order. My blood sugar was out of order. Everything was out of order. My sleep, everything. Yeah. So it does bring order into our life when chemically, hormonally, we're balanced. I love it. Yes. Yes.
It's a good thing. It really is. And once I learned those things, then I got better at doing what I do.
Yeah. Because everything else starts to fall in place in our life and our business, right?
Oh, you talking my language.
Yes, I'm loving your language. I mean, God is a God of order anyway. And that's how we sometimes even know in our business if we're off the track is when things start getting chaotic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because one thing you'll hear me say about everything I do with my business is it's not just me. It's me and Team Elohim, the creator God in me, who's the creative spirit in me, who bursts everything out of me.
So what would you say, although you may have actually, I feel like you may have touched on it, but maybe you haven't yet. What would you say is the biggest factor in your success as a businesswoman?
The biggest factor of success is always goes back to God for me. Without him, I can't do anything. And I don't want to do anything apart from him because he does everything well. And it gives you a spirit of excellence that you can operate in when you connect with God and do things his way. Because I have this spirit of excellence in me anyway. So it just goes off the chart when I'm connected to God.
You know, it just came to mind when you said a spirit of excellence. So when we are in a spirit of excellence as business women or men, because, you know, it's excellent, but it doesn't necessarily mean perfect versus like a spirit of perfectionism, which is a lot of times what we struggle with. Like, oh, this business plan isn't perfect yet, or like everything's not perfectly. I don't want to start out until I get everything perfect everywhere. And those are two different things.
Yes, it is. And I'm glad you said perfectionism because I used to be a perfectionist.
Me too.
And I had to get over that because that can send you over the edge because nothing is perfect. All you can do is your best. That's all you can do. And I give it my best with a spirit of excellence.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And then when we have like an event or in your case, like a book or some sort of success, right? If we're operating in a spirit of excellence, we celebrate it. But if we're operating in a spirit of perfectionism, we're like, oh, I wish, you know, like the tablecloth was straighter on my like display table of books, whatever. And it becomes stupid and it takes a joy away in what we've accomplished.
It really does. And I'm glad that it took me a minute and it took me a while to do that. But I had to tell myself, Jana, it's good enough. It's good enough. Even when I put out my first book, Articles for Life, I had to tell myself, it's good enough, because if I didn't, the book would have never came out because you're picking it apart.
Yep. Yes. And we have, as entrepreneurs, we have, I mean, what we're doing is we're providing a service or a product that's going to better people's lives. And they're not even going to notice that it's not perfect. They're going to be like, wow, her book changed my thought process, changed my perspective, and I can transform my life now.
Right. See, you said everything of what I want and desire for everything I do when it comes out. That's the result that I would love to have. Because even with the people now that I'm publishing, I tell them the same thing. Do your best.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect. The only one that's perfect is God. But we're human beings, and just do your best. That's all I require.
Yes, and that's all he requires too, and then he'll take care of the rest of it for us.
Yes, that is very true. Very true.
So I'm always excited to hear what people say the next level of success looks like for them. What does it look like for you?
The next level of success for me, because I just birthed this, birthed this publishing company through me, it's really taking that to the next level and helping authors get to where they need to go. Because the authors that I'm working with got these platforms and they got these non-for-profits and stuff that's connected to the purpose of the books. So it's growing now. And as that grows, then you'll see probably more stuff come out of and be birthed with me. But and I also, at the same time, while I'm working with them, taking my own books and promoting all of that.
Yes, getting the word out.
Yes, that's very true. Exactly.
Marketing. I mean, and you do have solutions and events. So I'm guessing there is marketing that you have that goes with.
Oh yes, most definitely. My thing is this: I do everything according to how the person is, because there's no cookie cutter way to market people.
Yes.
You got to deal with the person as an individual. And even with myself, how I deal with me individually. Some people that I'm working with are more social media savvy than others. And then you got to help others become more social media savvy. So it's really growing with the people, learning the people, and then from there, being able to set up a market plan for them. Because one thing don't work for everybody.
No, you can't just say you need a lead page and someone's like, I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
Go do it. You're like, what is it I'm supposed to do? I mean, that's the teacher in you. You're teaching the differentiation, like each person needs to learn something different.
Exactly. That's so true. So true.
So I am curious, in terms of success for other entrepreneurs, what is the secret sauce you notice that other entrepreneurs might be missing?
It's this thing that I hear people say, I'm on my grind, I'm on my hustle.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think people need to learn how to lay back and not always, everything's not a grind.
Yeah.
My thing is always flow. And if you don't have a flow, just because one person may say, okay, I got my hustle on and I'm grinding over here. No, you want to align with who you are in a flow and know what works for you. And that's how I feel people will get where they need to go, because everything is not this grind. Because if you grind like that, sometimes you can wear yourself out trying to make things work just because you see somebody else doing it. No, you have to find out what works for you. and then start moving from there.
Yeah, because like your flow as an author, right, is different from another author's flow.
Okay.
So you're not always going to be doing, I'm just using author as an example, but it could be for anything.
Oh,
You're
yes,
not going to do it the same way. Yeah.
no, not at all. And I'm learning that about myself. Even though I may be on social media, I'm not one who always push the social media button with everything with me. Sometimes I may be in a space where, okay, I'm promoting everything on my page and I'm putting it in my Facebook or Instagram stories, but then there's times I get quiet. I'll pull back for a minute because sometimes I'll be like, okay, I feel like it's too forced. And if it feel like it's too forced, then I'll pull it back and I'll let it lay until I feel that flow again.
Yeah, sometimes there is that we need on a spiritual level, like that discernment, because sometimes we do, like we're tired and we just need to like make that final push in order to make it happen. Like it's that last chapter of the book and you just have to push through and write it. And then there's those other times where you just need to take a break and refresh, knowing which is when.
Because my thing is this, there's like my first book, Articles for Life, it's 3 years that I had put it out 3 years ago, but just because it's 3 years old, don't mean it's over. It's still, that book still have a lot to do. So I got quiet for a minute with that because a lot of times I'm like, okay, especially when you're working with other authors now, God gives me the space and the time to work with everybody. So sometimes I can put my stuff down to do what I need to do for the other author.
Yeah. That's interesting. You said he gives us the space and time, because a lot of times we're like, I don't have time for this. I can't do that. But I mean, there must be a reason why there's only 24 hours. It must be sufficient.
Oh yeah, that is very true. And his grace is sufficient. It certainly is. He just makes it possible, especially if you lean into him and allow him to lead you. He leads me in everything I do.
I love it.
He's the best business partner in the world.
He is. He's on my business plan. It's true. On my business plan, I was like, who are your partners? I mean, there's people. Todd's on there at the top. Because I mean, really, I mean, that's who gives me life every day. Without his partnership for giving me life, I mean.
Because when I first did my business plan, I was in the Power Up business plan competition with the Brooklyn Public Library. And they have people from school look over your business plan. And the gentleman who looked over mine, he said, you really know how to make the Bible very practical, because it is a practical book.
It is.
And he was just so thrilled and he was so excited to see that. He's like, wow. He said, I love that.
Cool. Yeah, it's probably not in everyone's way of, I mean, it's the way you order it. And I mean, not everyone has the same belief, and that's okay. But for you, it's working like that order. That's how you order it. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yes. All right. So obviously, people need to know how to connect with you for either just to order or purchase a book or work and learn from you on order, or even how to publish their own book. So how can people connect with you?
Well, I have an Amazon author page. So if you Google Jana Hicks, Amazon author page, then you'll see that come up, because I realized there's another Jana Hicks out there. She's a dancer. That's not me. And also I have the MagCloud page, and that's my name backwards, ANAJ.magcloud.com.
Yes.
And then from that, you'll find the Organized Solutions and Events page on Facebook.
Okay, cool. So if I type in on Facebook, Organized Solutions and Events, you'll pop up? Or someone else does that?
At this point, I even saw when you just put my name in, Jana Hicks, everything starts popping up. Because I'm an author. I write articles for e-zine articles.
Okay.
So you'll see all of that. Mhm.
Yes. So yes, a lot of people have found you and are
Yes.
getting supported by you. I
Mhm.
love it.
Mhm. Oh, I'm just honored. Thank you for choosing me and for the interview.
Oh yes, I wanted to ask you before we ended if you had any last words of wisdom or insights that you wanted to share.
For anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
I would say pray about it
Mm-hmm.
and see what God is telling you. Because I'm not saying that you can't be an entrepreneur, but I don't know if it's for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
for me, I learned even as an entrepreneur, it's okay if you play the background. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not called to the front. So know your place in it as well. And play yourself and play from that strength.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true, because some people are more like the quiet behind the scenes and they have their team, they're
Right.
out there, and then other
Mhm.
people are more forefront. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. We all have different roles, even as entrepreneurs in our businesses that we play. Yeah,
Mhm.
I love it. That's such a good insight. Thank you so much. I am so happy that our mutual friend, Kim Hatton, who's also the website designer for the Black Business
Mhm.
Connector. I'm so glad she connected us. This was
Me
really,
too. Me
yeah.
too. When I got the invitation, I said, wait, hold up. Am I seeing this right? And I was so honored. Thank you so much to you, to Kim. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure. And, I like to, it's hard as business owners, and we're sometimes just in our own different niche or whatever, and we're working, and it's good to have other perspectives and learn from each other. So yes, I love doing these interviews and helping people learn from one another. So yes, thank
Mhm.
you for your time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.